Welcome back, folks, to the Mel Wright Show. This is episode 193. We've got a great guest, folks. We've got George B. Thomas in the house. We're going to be discussing all things video and how you should be using video in 2019 to get those kind of quality leads that you're looking for. Unfortunately, the really good-looking part of my normal partnership, Robert, he's not with us this week. He's roaming. He's on a flight probably as we speak. He's on a business trip, and he wasn't able to join us, but he should be back next week, hopefully. So, George, thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show. Would you like to tell the listeners, the new listeners and viewers, something about yourself?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thanks for having me on the podcast. I'm super excited. I love video. I love podcasting. I love when they can come together. And I love the fact that you started out, it's like 193 episodes. It's not your first rodeo. So this is going to be a good show to be on, a good episode to have, because we're going to learn a lot. So a little bit about myself. I really am a kind of an incognito nerd. I've always loved to develop websites. I've always loved design. I've always loved video. Years and years ago, before video became cool, I would nerd out in After Effects. But in 2012, I stumbled across this thing that is inbound and got into HubSpot and marketing automation and inbound sales and all that stuff. And that led me to this journey that about 3, maybe even 4 years ago, really started focusing on why is video kind of getting to this point where it's becoming a thing, not from the technical side, but from the human side of it. So right now I currently work at a company called Impulse Creative. We help companies with branding, website, video, marketing, sales, all those things. Not just me, it's a team. But one of the things that I do is I create a ton of video content on a show called Sprocket Talk, and it's specific to people in the marketing, sales, and service space. So that's kind of what I do, like all day, spend time in front of the camera, educating, teaching, and really communicating, because that's the major principle of how we're using video in today's digital space.
That's fantastic, George. So, George, our podcast is mostly aimed at real estate agents. And First of all, I just want to say to all the new listeners and viewers, last month was our biggest month for the show so far. We had over 500 new people joining us. So that's fantastic. So me and Robert, we've been plugging about, producing really good content for your website. As a real estate agent, really getting into video, and also, methodologies that use paid traffic as well, and combining those into an effective marketing plan of action. But video is becoming more and more important for real estate agents to build a personal and a local brand. Now, if you were a real estate agent, how would you be looking at utilizing video to help you build a brand?
Yeah, for sure. So I think we have to take a step back and we have to think about the term video in itself. A lot of people right now, when we say video, they think only marketing videos. They think website. They think maybe a tour of a house or commercial real estate. Maybe some tips or tricks to how to buy or how to lease those things, which is great. And we should absolutely do that. And there's an entire kind of marketing video funnel and a mindset of the potential buyers that we should be paying attention to on that side of it. But there's also this whole other side that if I was in that business, if I was trying to, well, the most important thing, if I was trying to gain trust, right? Because if you have trust, you can sell anything. It doesn't matter what business you're in. If people trust you, you're going to be successful. So if I want to gain that trust, the other side of this that I'm going to pay attention to is one-to-one personal videos. And I mean all the time, everywhere. So using a service like maybe Vidyard's Go Video, maybe it's something like Wistia's Soapbox, maybe it's Loom. Heck, maybe you Google a bunch of other possible tools you can use. but being able to put a video inside of an email instead of writing, 5,000 words. Now they got a video, they can watch it. Maybe you think about using a video response if you're actually talking to somebody in Facebook Messenger, or if you're putting something in an actual text message, maybe it's a video that they can watch. And so really figuring out a way that you can use video in all the places that you would have potential customer or lead interactions. And why I'm saying that is because it comes down to face-to-face time. It comes down to communication, being able to see the verbal and nonverbal things that are happening on the screen that you can't see in text in Messenger or text in an email. And really, it is a way that you can connect at a deeper level with folks, because it's the closest thing we have to, like, if we were sitting at a coffee shop and talking face to face, we can do that. Actually, we are doing that right now on this video. So that's if I had to start from a foundational piece, I would say pay attention to the marketing side of the videos, but then also the one-to-one communication. And when I say one-to-one, I mean very personalized type videos. I would pay attention to those as well.
Yeah, I think you've got a great point there, because, in the real estate area, just like in any online marketing automation is the buzzword, but also there's I feel a great demand for that kind of personal interaction. So the two things seem very contradictory, don't they, George? But I think by utilizing video, you can bring the two together to some extent, can't you?
Yeah, I think it comes down to, and here's the problem. Most times we like to bucketize as humans. We like to bucketize things. And so if you hear people talk about video right now, they'll say, well, it's a marketing strategy. Or somebody else might say, well, it's a sales tactic. And what I'm saying is that we need to think bigger than that, and actually it be a company culture. So you think back to like when mobile devices became this thing, and there was this like mobile-geddon, and everybody was like, oh, we got to think mobile first, because people are going to be using a phone, and they're going to be using a tablet. Well, here's the thing. I think there's going to be a video-geddon, meaning you need to think video first. You need to have a culture of video, and you need to realize that video is not a tactic, it's not a strategy, but it is a communication device or way of communicating with people who, if they like you, will want to spend money with you. So why not do that, right? And there's a bunch of hurdles that people usually have when it comes to video, but we can talk about those. But again, it's a mindset of a video culture. It's a mindset of having canned videos and also really personalized videos, and even a strategy on maybe how to use those together when you're communicating with folks.
Now, where does live, because we failed, unfortunately, for this episode to push it live to Facebook, but I think it might be something to do with Facebook myself, because last time we had trouble, Facebook was having an outrage. But how do you fit live video into your general video strategy, Jules?
Yeah. So let me just preface this, that I think that live video is the deep end of the pool. Meaning, if I'm somebody who is just getting started or thinking about getting started with video, that's not the place that I'm going to jump in first. I'm going to start with something that I can control a little bit. Meaning, I'm going to record a couple canned videos. I'm going to realize that I have the editing process to clean those up, and I can polish them up and make them nice and presentable so that I get comfortable with that type of creating a video. Then I'm going to step into one-to-one personal videos, which is almost like a live video, because you can hit record and it's recording you, and you're maybe showing them a browser tab or a window in your browser, or maybe it's just you're talking to them, but you're not really doing any production. There's no intro, there's no outro, you're not cutting it. It's just like a human conversation put into video and sent over. And then past that is where I get into live video. And what I think live video is great for is when it's time for not one-to-one engagement, but one-to-many engagement, right? So for instance, we do what's called Sprocket Talk Unpacked. It's a live show for 30 minutes where we take one tool of HubSpot and we unpack all the things that you can do with that tool's tactics, strategies, how to use it. And people join in and they ask questions about that specific tool or about specific strategies around that tool. Another thing that you might do with a live is, let's say you have 10, 15, 50, 100 people, and you want to do a Q&A about a property. Well, instead of just answering a bunch of questions a bunch of different times to a bunch of different people, maybe you actually say, hey, Thursday, December 27th, we're going to have a live Q&A on property XYZ. Log into my Facebook or log into my, well, not really log in, but join me on my Facebook or join me on my live YouTube channel, wherever, and you can do that. Or the other part of this is that it's something that's happening and you just want to share with a broad audience. Like if I'm a realtor, by the way, I'm always working leads. Like I would probably have 200 people that eventually someday could buy a house or lease a property. Like that's just how I would work it. And so if all of a sudden there's a new property that is available, and I've done a really great job of getting those people to kind of huddle around me as the thought leader in the space. Now all of a sudden I go live and I start doing like, oh my gosh, guys, this just came on the market. Look at this living room. Is that fireplace not dope? Oh my gosh. Because now, do you see what just happened? Like I got excited. And because I'm in the moment, it's something new, it's something fresh, it's something special. Now you have those people that are like, oh my gosh, babe, look at this fireplace. Like, can you imagine us sitting by this fireplace? Like that is where I think live fits in a couple of different places for specifically like realtors and using that technology.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. So how do you, if you're a realtor, how would you plan your videos then? Would you be looking at doing at least a couple a week?
Well, you're probably asking the wrong guy because I do a couple a day, right? But if I was just going to do like normal and realize I have other work to do, I think you can do a couple different strategies. One, you could do a daily video. If I'm doing a daily video, it's maybe 2 to 5 minutes. And I might do something where it's just, here's my ideas. I'm not going to do a lot of editing and I'm going to push it out there. It might go on my Facebook. It might go on my LinkedIn. Because by the way, if I'm a realtor, I'm using LinkedIn video right now because that's hot. And also there's going to be LinkedIn Live coming out. It's in beta right now. Anyway, so I'm definitely going to do that, right? But there's the other strategy of quality over quantity. And so maybe I have one video a week that I take some more time and I put some production value in. For instance, I already told you that we do Sprocket Talk videos. Those are daily updates or tutorials. But we have one video that we do, one per week, and it's called What Is? And it's where we take a marketing, a sales, or a service term, and we actually talk about what is it, why is it important to your company, and 3 or 4 or 5 ways that you can implement it for your business. So that's more of like almost a little bit of a pillar piece of video because we're answering multiple questions and giving tips on it. That's going to take a little bit more production, so I might do one of those a week. So you can have kind of a mixed bag. But the biggest thing that I'll say is that if I'm a realtor and I'm watching this and I'm worried about like what strategy am I going to use, the starting point is just do it. Like you can sit and concept the strategy for months and then you haven't made any videos. So here's one thing I'll say. Don't worry about perfection. Worry about publishing. Because if it's not published, nobody can see it and it's not getting any performance and you're not getting paid. That was a lot of P's, but the idea is if you're going to start this, pay attention to any question that you've ever been asked. Answer those questions on video and publish them. And the first one, it might stink. The 5th one might not be as bad. The 10th one might even still be a little bit cringy for you because you're seeing yourself and hearing yourself the way that the world actually does. But by the time you get to the 20th, the 50th, the 100th, the 500th, like you're going to be a master at it. And people are just gonna be like, yeah, like Jim, he uses video everywhere. He's amazing. That's the strategy. Just get going and focus on micro and macro content at the same time.
That's great, George. We're going to go for our break, folks. We'll be back in a few moments. We're coming back. George B. Thomas has been educating us on video. Before we go back into the interview part, I also want to tell you that you can try MailRite, my all-in-one marketing solution to get quality leads, for $1 for 14 days. So if you go to the MailRite website and go to the plans section and sign up, you can try the full power of MailRite for $1 for 14 days. And you'll also get an onboarding call with me personally to get you set up with MailRite. That's a fantastic offer. So I'd like to talk about some of the equipment and, you know, what do you, when it comes to equipment, what do you think a real estate agent, if they're really going to get serious and really have a go at video as one of their key marketing tools, what they've got to look at, and maybe you can give some tips and insights about equipment and software that they need?
Yeah. So the first thing is keep it simple. There's two major things that people have hurdles with. Well, actually, there's three major, really. It's budget, it's time, and then equipment falls in there because it's part of the budget. But keep it simple. Use whatever you have. Like, look, most of us have cell phones. Cell phones have cameras. You can literally put your cell phone on a tripod, add a little, mic to it. Be outside in the daylight, and you could create a video that would be awesome and usable because it's steady, there's good lighting, and there's good audio. Now, past that, everybody wants to kind of jump into the DSLR camera, which, by the way, I'm using for this interview, but I've done hundreds of interviews with my webcam, which is also sitting at my desk, and it's fine because right now, you can buy a webcam that is like HD, 1920 by 1080, or you can even get something like the Logitech Brio, which is a 4K camera. And so, like, it's just amazing quality. So use what you have, no matter if it's your cell phone, no matter if it's a webcam, no matter if you can afford a DSLR, use what you have. Now, some major things that I kind of dropped in there when it comes to equipment. You're going to want to have some type of tripod because you're going to want it to be steady and stable no matter what one of those cameras you're going to use. If you're going to make your videos outside, you don't need lighting. Or if you happen to have a window that's in your office and you could open the drapes or the blinds and you've got daylight, you don't need lighting. But if there's other scenarios, other than that, you're going to need some lights. Don't spend a bunch of money at first. You can go on Amazon and you can look for what is called newer lights, N-E-W-E-E-R, I do believe. They're like 25 to 50 bucks depending on which one you want to get. And you can get 2 or 3 lights, one for your right, one for your left, one for behind you, depending on how you want to light the room. And so now it looks presentable. There's good color. Always kind of try to do daylight lighting as well. You're going to want to have a good mic. In this case, I'm talking on an ATR 2100. It's like 50 bucks. So again, not spending a bunch of money. Or you could get something like this, which is the Rode mic up here. That's a couple hundred. But again, it comes to having great audio, great lighting, and then the video is just going to be great because everything at this point does 1080. The one other piece of this that I will say that you should pay attention to, well, actually, I'll do a couple because I just love adding a ton of value, is the background in which you're going to be doing your videos on. Even if it's a blank wall right now, do something to make it a little bit creative. Maybe it's putting pictures on the wall. Maybe it's having a bookcase. Maybe some stuffed animals or Avengers or whatever you're into. Bringing some of your personality or your brand into play with it is as well. So maybe, yeah, you're in your office space, but can you make your office space look a certain way behind you so that it adds to the element of the video? Also, if you're a realtor, you're always on the go. So when I say tripod, you might be like, well, I'm not lugging all this crap around with me. So if I'm a realtor, I'm going to go with something like maybe even a GoPro, and I'm going to get a little like Joby Gorilla Pod, and I'm going to get a little tiny Rode mic, and there's a kit that you can put together, and it automatically stabilizes itself. So if I'm a realtor on the go, I can easily pull out my GoPro, and I can start to do a video, and I know it's not going to look all shaky. And what's cool is with some of the latest versions of the GoPros, you can actually go right to like a Facebook Live if you wanted. So go back to the fact of now we want to do something, we're on the move, and we want to have that element of being able to go live quickly. So as you can see, there's a ton of ways that you can go with your gear. It's really figuring out what budget you have. And then fitting the main elements, audio, lighting, and video into that budget. But again, I go back to just do it. Erase any hurdles, get the stuff, and start recording.
What's your feelings about using iPhone or Android? Because, you know, most agents, they live on their phone. It's the thing that's with them. And can you get, I'm pretty sure you can get stabilizers or grips.
Oh, yeah.
They use the iPhone. But what kind of standard of video can you get from them now?
Oh, it's great. Like, it's amazing. Here's the thing. I've done videos with my cell phone. I've done videos with my webcam. I've done videos with my DSLR. You know what I've never heard from anybody who watches my videos? Oh, man, that phone video just didn't really look good. Or that webcam video, man, I could just tell. Like, nobody knows. No, I could shoot the same video 3 different times, and people would be like, yeah, it's a video. What they care more about is the quality of the conversation coming out of your mouth, the value that you're giving, the answering their questions, right? The being a happy, helpful human. That's what they care about. So when it comes to cell phone, I'm actually a big cell phone video nerd. I love, there's a couple companies. One's called Beast Grip. beastgrip.com. You can get a case for your phone. You can get attachments for mics for your phone, lights for your phone, tripods for your phone, rigging, like an actual rig for your phone. They've got a thing called a DOF adapter, which is depth of field adapter you can put on this kit and then use like Canon lenses with your phone. Like, you can get super nerdy with some of this stuff that you can do with cell phones. And there's even a gentleman, his name is D. Nimmons on YouTube, that talks about all of this stuff that you can do with smartphones and creating video. And look, if you got zero budget, that's immediately one of the roads that I would journey down, because nobody is ever going to look at you, as long as it's stable and as long as you use good lighting. And with a cell phone, that's really important, because cell phones in bad lighting, it gets all like pixelated and grainy. So have really great lighting and great audio. Nobody's going to even know that it was your phone. Here's a bonus pro tip. If you download an app called Filmic Pro, it actually allows you to use your phone to shoot at 2 and 4K as well.
Wow. I didn't know that. So, but obviously you're going to need the upper versions of the iPhone or Android for storage, aren't you?
Well, so there's a hack around that too. So yes, you're going to need some storage space, but you're not going to be shooting like a 2-hour documentary. So any 5, 7, 10, 12-minute video, it's going to go ahead and hold that. But there is a thing called iExpand. And what iExpand does is it plugs into, let's just use iPhone for this example. It plugs into your iPhone, and it actually lets you back up your photos and videos. One side of it is a lightning port. The other side of it is a USB. So I can easily plug it in, take all the files that I just recorded, back them up, remove them from my iPhone, go and put them on my computer. And now, instead of using my phone like the typical user does, where they fill it up with 10,000 pictures of their baby, the pizza, the burger they had last Tuesday, a tile of a floor that they liked, now you're using your phone, because you are creating video, as almost a usable storage area that can get removed and backed up onto your computer. And so all those photos, all those videos, everything actually lives in the cloud or on a larger device, and your phone can stay cleaner. I will say, you can still leave your baby photos on there and the picture of your burger, because you could only back up those videos and then delete them off your phone and kind of reuse that space. But yes, if you have an iPhone 4 or 3, and first of all, it might be time to upgrade anyway. But yes, having a 7 plus or above is really going to be helpful if you're going to do that smartphone video.
Yeah. So, right. When it comes to editing, what would you recommend somebody starting out? And you said, when it comes to the 3-minute videos that you might be doing every day, you don't have to worry so much. But when it comes to something longer, what would you recommend around editing?
Yeah, so there's about 3 or 4 different levels that I'll talk at here. First of all, if you're doing smartphone video and you're going with this whole mobile video thing, if you have an iPad or an Android tablet that goes with your phone and they sync together, you could get a piece of software, or an app, I guess I should call it, because we're talking mobile, called LumaFusion, and you can actually edit the videos right on your phone or right on your tablet. So that's one. If you have low budget, you should just do a Google search for free video editors. And there are free video editors that you download. By the way, if you Google that, you're probably going to come across a gentleman called Justin Brown from Primal Video. And he always is redoing these videos on like DaVinci Resolve and so other free editors that you can get. Now, for me personally, I try to remove all hurdles. So when I think about editors, I think about simplicity. So one of my favorite editors to use day in, day out is called Camtasia. And it's like $100 or $150. And it's really about knowing the 30% of what I need that editor to do to make a video, get it out and just get it published. But if I'm going for something that's very high production and I've got time for the learning curve and it just has to be amazing, then I'm going to go into Adobe Premiere. But there's no reason to do that for every video if it's going to slow your production time down. Find something that streamlines your process. Like literally, one of the things that I played with for about a 6-month period was using a live technology called Ecamm Live. It's for Mac. It allows you to have scenes in your broadcast, almost like OBS, which is Open Broadcast System. But Ecamm Live allowed you to have scenes in your recording. And what I would do is I would use my webcam. I would have a scene that would be an intro, a scene that would be an outro, a scene that would show me full face, and a scene that would have me next to like a browser window where I might be doing work. And I'd literally hit record, and I'd hit my intro, and then I'd hit me, and I'd do my video, and then I'd be like, let's look at the portal, and I'd hit the next scene, and I'd do my work inside of the actual HubSpot portal I was working in. I'd go back to the scene of just me, and I'm like, so here's what we learned today, and I'd hit the outro, and then when I would hit finish, I would literally have a video that was already edited. And so I just had to clip the front, clip the end, and I could upload it and publish it, and nobody knew that it never hit an editor, because I was literally editing it as I went through with these scenes in Ecamm Live. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can rethink what video has always been and make it what video needs to be for you and your process.
I think that's fantastic. Main reason I wanted you on the show, because I knew you're a real nerd when it comes to video, and you're really passionate about the subject. Well, you're normally passionate because I do watch your Facebook videos. So it's been fantastic. We're going to wrap up now the podcast. So, George, what is the best way for people to find out more about you, your knowledge, and what you're up to?
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, if you want to see what we're doing, if you want to watch videos, if you want to learn about sales, marketing, service, head over to YouTube. Just do a search for Sprocket Talk. You'll find me, my crazy hair, and typically me wearing my glasses and talking about all things sales, marketing, and service. If you have specifically like a question that you want to ask me, you can find me, George B. Thomas, on LinkedIn or George B. Thomas on Twitter. And then if you want to connect at like a very human level, you can find me on the Book of Faces or Facebook. And there's really at Marketing Speaker is my page. But if you look for Mr. George B. Thomas, that's my just profile. And so if you want the more human side, go Mr. George B. Thomas. If you want the more speaker MC side, then go at Marketing Speaker on Facebook. Any of those is going to get you to me. And just know that I am the type of guy that if you ask me a question, I'll give you an answer. If I don't know the answer, I'll learn the answer, and then I'll give you the answer, because that's what it's all about, is being a catalyst for others to be their best selves.
That's great, George. And you have to come back on the broadcast. I really enjoyed the conversation. And like I say, my co-host, Robert, will be back next week. And also, do remember, if you're looking for quality leads, go to the MailRight website, see what we've got to offer. And if you want to try one of our plans, you can try one of our plans for $1 for 14 days. And also you get onboarding personal session with me, showing you all the power of MailRight. We'll be back next week, folks, with another great guest or another conversation between me and Robert about using technology to build your real estate business. We'll be back next week, folks. Bye.